And what you have? Forgiven her?
No. But she never asked me. She knew she had no right.
You guys, when I tell you I screamed... Yes, I realize I'm taking a huge risk talking about TMA while it's actively airing, especially with my update schedule being, let's see now. Video goes up to patrons a few hours before a new TMA episode releases, and then to the world at large a week later, putting me at the very least 2 weeks behind the show no matter what I do. But you know what? I don't particularly care, and the topic of this video is pretty much tied up with a nice little bow in canon at this point, so let's fucking go. For this video, I'm going to go a little deeper into Alice Daisy Tonner and her character, and just the goddamn beauty of the quote I played at the start of this video. Let's start off with this. When we first met Daisy, I did not like her. I don't think we were supposed to. She was a violent, unpredictable cop. And sure, yeah, for all we knew, she mostly went after monsters, but we all also knew that what does and does not count as a monster in this universe is an incredibly nuanced and complicated issue, which should not be left up to a single person as judge, jury, and executioner. I didn't like Basira much either, apart from her very first appearances, because, again, we learned she made a habit of ignoring the fact that Daisy was killing people, and sure, she thought they were helping, she thought it balanced out, but, as the quote says,
cool motive, still murder.
And then Daisy made me like her even less when she dragged John out into the woods, made him bury a body, and almost killed him. Then she got tossed in the buried. I want to make it very clear, when I say I love Daisy, this is the Daisy I love. The Daisy that came out of the coffin. The brief hint we got at who she could have been in a life untouched by the hunt. Granted, she was a bit too traumatized for us to get a clear picture, but it was a damn sight better than anything we'd seen before. Thing is, though, it wasn't a redemption. Daisy can't be redeemed. All she could do, at that point, was screech to a halt, dig her heels in, and refuse to hurt any more people. None of which redeemed her for any of her previous actions, and it's not written to give us that impression either. Basira once tried to claim that Daisy didn't know what she was doing, that made her different from John somehow. At the very core of it, they're not. Daisy, at her worst, is, I think, very close to what John would become without his anchors to humanity. Or at least would have, before the end of the world. Who the fuck even knows what his final form is these days? Just aligned with the hunt instead of the eye, so a lot more blood, a lot less making people live through their worst trauma over and over without any hope of ever putting it behind them. Neither of them chose to be connected to the entities they serve. Daisy just had bad luck, John was actively maliciously targeted, but both, in 1,000 tiny ways, made the choices which brought them to where they are now. Daisy was just way further along when we first met her than John. So, when Daisy came out of the coffin, and for the first time in she can't even remember how long, could ignore the blood rushing in her ears, she and John became friends. There's a powerful kind of solidarity to being a pair of monsters trying their damnedest to stay human, I guess. Thing is, though, Daisy still tried to kill John. The past didn't magically change just because she did. Before episode 178, they never really addressed this, but oh boy when they did. The Magnus Archives just gave me the most nuanced, beautiful take on forgiveness I've ever fucking seen in any piece of media ever, and I could fucking cry. Do you know how many times I've seen this idea that if you've been abused or hurt by someone, you have to forgive them in order to move on with your life? TMA just said, fuck that noise, you don't have to forgive anyone. But they didn't stop there. To that, they added, it's okay not to forgive people you care about. It's okay not to forgive people who mean a lot to you. It's okay to still want them in your life somehow, while also not forgiving them. Because Daisy was John's friend for those few months where she managed to hold on to her humanity. She was his friend, and he didn't forgive her, and she never asked for forgiveness. Those statements existed in the same space without contradicting each other. Because Daisy is, inherently, unforgivable. She may have killed a lot of monsters, but she also hurt so many people. John sees that, has always seen that. Basira, for the longest time, did not. And, in the end, though she did so to protect Basira and the archives, she fell right back into it, deeper than she ever was before. As we saw so clearly in episode 179, there was no way to save her. There was nothing left to save. Nothing human, anyhow. All she was, in the end, was a threat. And I think it's absolutely genius and kind of beautiful that the two characters for which this was a point of contention leading up to that final confrontation were John and Basira. The last two people in this ruined world who still, in some way or other, cared about Daisy. Basira's relationship with her was kinda fucked up, but she did care. She may have called Daisy dead weight after she started refusing the call of the hunt, but she also brought her to physical therapy and seemed genuinely worried about her. John's relationship with Daisy was so unique and interesting because, again, it basically started with Daisy scarring John for life, but somehow, bizarrely, they still ended up friends. It makes so much sense for John, even beyond being literally all-seeing, to be able to look at Daisy as she was in the end, compare it to the versions of Daisy he has known, and see the evil there. Just as it makes so much sense for Basira to be more likely to make excuses or to avoid confronting the truth. Because John never forgave Daisy, and, well, for the longest time, Basira wasn't willing to confront the idea that there might even be anything there to forgive. And good God, the ending to that arc really is everything I hoped it would be. Which, granted, was not exactly hard to predict because Johnny Sims is nothing if not consistent in his writing, and actually your audience picking up on where you're going isn't a bad thing at way too many showrunners and directors lately. Daisy needed to die, because all she was, in the end, was a threat. Basira needed to be the one to do it, because she needed to face what she had ignored and covered up for so long and put a stop to it. The two things Johnny gave me that I did not see coming were Daisy asking Basira to join the hunt and Basira explicitly rejecting it, which was wonderful, and John actually vocalizing that he's sad that Daisy didn't recognize him in the end, because God, that fucking broke me, but I loved it. I don't know if this video made any sense, I just needed to get my thoughts and feelings out there. The writing in this show is so fucking good, I'm literally floored every episode. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, consider liking it and maybe subscribing. I will be back here Thursday after next. Bye!